in Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Wednesday, the 27th day of May 2026, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the wet roads of the Cayman Islands this morning, we urge you to please be extremely cautious, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle. Adjust your driving, your riding, even your walking to suit the conditions, the road conditions. Walking, remember, if it's raining or overcast, a person operating any type of vehicle, their vision may be impaired as a result of the rain. So you want to ensure that you walk on the side of the road, wear clothing that makes you much more visible. As well, if you're driving, road conditions are wet, which means that you have to increase the distance between you and the vehicles in front of you. Your ability to stop quickly, suddenly, will be affected by the wet roads as well. So again, roads are wet out there. You have to drive carefully. You have to adjust your driving to suit the road conditions as well. Those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, whichever is applicable. And to remind you that For the Record birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola and the Credit Union. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes from generation to generation. Coca-Cola, still a Cayman classic. And the Credit Union, who looks forward to serving the people of the Cayman Islands for the next 50 years and beyond. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery. Again, this morning, big shout out to Mr. Joel Wilson, our colleague here at Radio Cayman. Folks, we have no guests in the studio at this point in time. We will have guests after the 8 o'clock news around about 8:15, so our phone lines are open. We have a beautiful radio voice, the voice of Miss Susan Watson, right in that control room waiting to take your calls. You can call us on our toll-free number. That, of course, is provided courtesy of Flo. That number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp number 925-3261. Let's look at the birthday shout-outs. David C. Black celebrating a birthday today. along with Kevin Hossam. Both of them celebrating a birthday today. Yesterday, Miss Shirley Jervis celebrated her birthday. Want to wish her a happy belated birthday as well. If you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, please share that information with us right here on For the Record, and we will give them a birthday shout out, brought to you by Coca-Cola and the Credit Union. Let's take a look at what's happening or what's coming from our local news. Let's take a look at the Cayman Compass and see some of the articles that they're running, some of the stories that they're running in today's publication, online publication. So one story relates to the NCFC administration's first year, minimal progress on delivering affordable housing. And I just want to say that I was in having conversations with people, with persons. There is that disagreement that this has been a challenge for many administrations. Some have initiated programs like the GGHAM program, but in terms of the actual building of affordable homes, we are really, really way behind what is actually the numbers that are actually needed as well. So it has been a challenge for all administrations, previous administrations as well. Question is, why is it a challenge? Why are we able to do it? And if time allows, we will look at the article and see what they've said in it. Also, in their news, why mosquitoes prefer to bite some people over others. Maybe their blood is sweeter than others as well. I don't know. But we can examine that as well. Another article, UK universities strained as study visa issuance falls 32%. 32% fall in study visas for the UK. Well, if a government embarks upon creating a hostile environment for immigrants or for people wanting to immigrate to the UK, and that was a previous minister who said that. I'm not sure whether or not the policy is the same, but we're seeing what's happening as far as UK universities are concerned. Always thought of UK universities, always thought of as the bastion of education. They basically were the poster child for education, the quality of education. Their elite universities, Oxford, Cambridge, their law schools and everything. But the attitude, the direction of the UK changing. Was at one point in time extremely attractive to all of those countries that form the Commonwealth. But like I said, immigration policies have changed in the United Kingdom, so much so that one minister decided that they were going to create a hostile environment for immigrants in the UK as well. Also, two more stories. Premier leads financial services delegation to Trinidad and New York, and PPM's Bryan files motion to make more people eligible for financial assistance. I'm sure that one will be talked about because there's still a wide community out there who believe that government is providing, too much, and what government provides sometimes it may disincentivize people from actually going out there and working, those who have the ability to work. But we also have to recognize that there are many persons with needs in our community, and the high cost of living worldwide, and in particular here in the Cayman Islands, has not done much to help. So those who years ago may have been able to survive and financially may be struggling now because of the increased cost of living, but yet not seeing their income, whether or not it's a working income or whether or not it is finances provided by government, not seeing those increases as well. We do have a caller, but Ms. Susan, let's take the commercial break, and then we can take the caller after. This way we won't have to interrupt to take the commercial break. Caller, please hang in there. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, we will converse with you, so please stay tuned.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Healthcare Pharmacy, caring about your health for the past 25 years. Radio Cayman's premier health show.
Alzheimer's and dementia, are they the same disorder?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Is heard on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor, where they care about your health. Transfer and refill your prescription online. Visit healthcarepharmacy.com or call 947-8900. Healthcare Pharmacy, now with a second location in Governor's Square. Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health.
The Passport and Corporate Services Office is urging all residents to verify the validity of their travel documents and take steps to protect them ahead of the hurricane season, which starts the 1st of June. Residents are advised to check passport expiry date, verify entry requirements for their destination, apply for or renew passports and visas early, and make copies of passports and key documents and store them in waterproof containers. For more information, call 345-649-7678 or email passportandcorporate@gov.ky.
Yeah, let me tell you, no AC when I was a boy. I still remember just how good an ice-cold Coca-Cola was.
The part is, the coolest moms and dads always had Coca-Cola or parties.
The sound when you pop the top, and the fizzle, and that, after that first sip.
Coca-Cola, from generation to generation, that ice-cold bubbly. Coca-Cola, still a Cayman classic.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Looking to explore your future in Cayman's insurance industry? Join us at the Cayman Next Gen Insurance Forum on May 28th at the Marriott. This free event is designed for school leavers, university students, and early career Caymanians, with parents also welcome. Learn how the insurance and reinsurance industry works, hear from young professionals, and connect directly with people in the field. The event runs from 2:30 to 6 p.m. with refreshments provided. Register now at imac.ky or follow at iMac Cayman on Instagram for more information. Hosted by iMac, Circa, and CIIA.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going straight to our caller who has been holding for quite a while. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Connor. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm giving thanks. I heard you read out quite a few headlines, and certainly cost of living is probably the top priority for everybody. And I think that, after seeing some of the initiatives that are being, proposed and, the public not really understanding completely how they're gonna work or how it's gonna impact them in particular. Anyone in particular would have to, analyze it from their perspective, because everybody has a different impact depending on who you are, right? But what I would like to point out, and I think that it's critically important that we understand the full magnitude of what we're facing when it comes to energy and fuel and the consumption of fuel, and we must realize that, yes, because of the conflicts that are going on around the world, that it's affecting the cost of fuel because of the delivery channels for those fuels to reach certain ports has been some issues. But we also have to look at the cost of freight, and fuel is no different than food. It's a freight that has to be brought from one location to the next. And when we see our government or the persons in charge trying to mitigate some of these issues, we want to understand how it is going to impact us. Is it long term? Is it just a temporary fix? We've seen these initiatives now with the $9 million and the reduction of duty and all these different things. But, I think that it's long past the time. It's way overdue for us to sit down and have a solid look at what a long-term solution would look like. Now, we've seen recently in the media, I wasn't sure if you had read that as a headline. I didn't catch all the headline reading you had, but we know that there is a limited amount of solar anyone can put on their property that falls within the legal allowance, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. And, a person should be able to generate as much alternative energy as they possibly can, or can afford, I should say, in their own personal capacity, whether it's in a commercial building or a private home. I don't think anyone or any law should stipulate, how much you should put on your house, especially if you're trying to implement some sort of cost saving measure. And we're faced with that because CUC has a exclusive right for distribution of any energy that's generated, especially when it has to be connected to their grid. So I I just want to raise the question this morning and continue to raise the question because I've been doing it for a long time. And I want to know if there is any long-term plan that is being plotted and, drawn up on the board as opposed to these occasional, kick the can down the road Band-Aid fixes, because I heard one of the ministers on another talk show mention about 18 cents a kilowatt and what that's going to affect, and government is going to subsidize it and pay CUC back. I don't understand why are we entering into a conversation with the only energy provider on this island talking about how we can subsidize for a certain group of people that we have identified need that help, as opposed to saying, well, we have 100% responsibility for purchasing fuel, so therefore we need to have 100% responsibility on where that fuel is coming from. And we need to be absolutely involved on all levels of fuel purchasing for an energy company that passes through that cost completely to the consumer, because that's in the best interest of the consumer.
Mm-hmm.
And from the last time I checked, when a person is elected, it is to do the work of the people and to be responsible for the well-being and the sustainability of the people. So I'm just asking the question, instead of having a conversation with the energy provider about subsidizing them to reduce the cost to selected individuals, why are we not having a conversation saying, look, we need to know, we need to be involved, and we need to have some leverage or some autonomy on where you're buying fuel from. We need to know that that fuel is the only fuel available for you to purchase simply because it's in the best interest of the public that you purchase the cheapest fuel within the region. I want to know. I know I stand corrected. The government could be having those conversations, Mr. Connor, but I don't see it anywhere. I haven't heard of it. I haven't heard any announcements, because they're very quick to announce the Band-Aid kick the can down the road initiatives that they plan to put in place to get political mileage. So I don't know why they don't announce the long-term conversations they're having to have a long time or long-term, solution for these issues that we face.
And we see other jurisdictions taking that into consideration. I was watching the news this morning, and now there's more talk about oil coming from Alaska and the amount of time that it takes for oil from or ships to move from Alaska to, let's say, Japan, as opposed to coming from the Gulf region as well. So every country is looking now at long-term solutions, not short-term solutions, because again, subsidizing the payment of CUC utility bills, it's not sustainable. It's definitely not sustainable. I also thought that you were going to talk about when you mention other sources of energy. I see here where ERCOR, the Utility Regulation and Competition Office, they have released a press release on the 25th. Utility regulator assessing concerns relating to homeowner solar participation. I don't know if you saw that press release yet.
Yeah, I only saw the headline. I didn't get a chance to read the article, but that goes back to the thing that I brought up in regards to the solar and how much solar one can generate and legally, right? And I think that's a very critical area because if you ever heard about a gray area, that's definitely the gray area, because I know that most people are under the assumption, because remember, Mr. Connor, I want to reiterate that there are many solutions that can be implemented far easier than some of the ones that they're talking to reduce the cost of energy for the utility company. But to your point on that article, it's absolutely mind-boggling on how we have a system. Well, there is a system that is in place that requires us to generate alternatively, but sell back to the distributor, who's going to buy it at a reduced cost from us and resell it at a profit, because certainly they're not going to buy it at a reduced cost and sell it at a reduced cost, right? They have to make a profit, right? And the long term and the long hidden claim is that, oh well, you're using you're connecting it to our grid, therefore we have to issue you a credit. but that benefits no one else other than that individual. But when that person comes off of the cost responsibility for fuel, then that cost is redistributed to the persons who are on the grid, because you're burning the same amount of fuel whether there's 100 homes off the grid or whether there are 1,000 homes off the grid. You still CUC still have to burn the same amount of fuel to maintain the core energy that is obligated within their contract, right? So hypothetically, if you take 1,000 people off the grid because they're burning alternative energy and CUC is issuing credits, that's 1,000 people that are not paying for fuel. So that means that fuel cost is going to be redistributed among those who are not in the luxury of having an alternative set up to burn, to get credit.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So these are the sort of things that we need to sit down, because I don't want to hear some articulate long talk about how you're going to help me and I should just be quiet and listen to the help that we're giving you and be grateful. No. We need to actually drill down and peel back a couple layers of this onion to find out where is the core plan that's going to be sustainable 50 to 100 years. And if we believe that having one utility company to distribute and take all of the generation for distribution, if that's going to be the solution, then we have clearly missed the boat, because the distribution grid should be owned by the sovereignty of the island. And the reason why, Mr. Connor, we're gonna eliminate some duties on fuel, which puts a gap in our GDP, right? And then we're going to subsidize with an additional $9 million, which extends that gap in our GDP, right? And it's got to come from somewhere, you know. And then we got Data Link, which is our entirely owned subsidiary company of the utility company that charges millions of dollars to all of the other utility companies for using the grid, and the government sees $0 on that. Yeah, they may pay the government a licensing fee annually and all these different little mediocre things, but where does the meat really hit the bone, man? We got to have these conversations, because, quite frankly, you know, I'm seriously exhausted mentally, because if I got this information and if I could find this information and these solutions, then why is it that a full cabinet of members who were duly elected that have all the resources at their fingertip are not seriously looking into having these conversations? And I don't mean just having a cabinet meeting and talking about ideas. You know, I'm talking about actually, you know, doing something that's because we haven't really seen it, Mr.
Yeah,
Brown.
I have about a minute and a half left, but my question to you would be,
yes, sir.
Do you believe then that government needs to bring in outside experts to help them, you know, with this, you know, people who are neutral to a certain extent, but are looking for ways, you know, to see how the government can prioritize and can utilize the whole issue to the benefit of the consumer? Because we have to bear in mind that we don't necessarily have experts in government, in the elected portion of government, experts in this area. Do we really need to engage the services of experts to help us?
Well, my answer to that would be absolutely. However, the government needs to, you know, retake the autonomy and the control of the one industry, you know, because we don't own the grid and we don't have no control over the purchasing of fuel. We don't need an expert to tell us that we need to be in the driver's seat with that.
Yeah.
But you're right. We need to bring in people, and whatever it takes, we need to do whatever it takes to get this country to a better sustainable position.
Okay.
Energy-wise.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rankin, for that, folks. Top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return from the 8 o'clock news, we should have our guests in the studio. Don't change that dial. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Island.
With your latest news, I'm Karsley Fuller. Premium gas prices spiked this week.
According to the Utility Regulation and Competition Office, the average price of self-service regular gas jumped 2 cents to $6.19 a gallon this week. The average price for premium self-service is up 8 cents from the last check on May 20th to $6.62. That's a 14-cent increase in just the past 2 weeks. Diesel is unchanged at $6.74 a gallon. According to Offreg, you can get the cheapest self-service regular gas at Brown's Red Bay for $6.15 a gallon. On the diesel side of things, refuel has the lowest price at $6.37. For context, the national average in the United States for a gallon of regular gas is $4.45 USD. You can find the full breakdown at offreg.ky.
K-Man getting fifth round ready. One team, one standard of excellence.
The premiere there with the KMED regulatory team at the 62nd Caribbean Financial Action Task Force plenary in Trinidad as they prepare for the fifth round evaluation. The Honorable Andre Ebanks says the, quote, rallying mantra reiterates unity across both the public and private sectors and shifts the mindset from this being a, quote, stressful periodic regulatory hurdle to a shared mission of upholding the country's global anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism standing. The CAFTF's fifth round of mutual evaluations is currently rolling out across member jurisdictions, assessing compliance and effectiveness in combating money laundering and terrorist financing. Outgoing Deputy Governor, the Honorable Franz Manderson, addresses the class of 2026 at the International College of the Cayman Islands, his final commencement speech in the role.
Today you have answered a call. You showed up through late nights and early mornings, through uncertainty and sacrifice, and you finished what you started. That is not a small thing. That is everything.
At Tuesday night's ceremony, valedictorian Nadine Gonzalez-Adano expressed gratitude to all those who helped the graduating class achieve this milestone.
Every diploma represents more than personal effort. It represents families who sacrificed, teachers who guided, mentors who believed in us, and friends who reminded us that we were never alone in this journey.
Ms. Adano graduated summa cum laude, achieving a perfect 4.0. The graduating class included 20 associate degree graduates, 14 bachelor's degree graduates, and 7 getting their master's. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Danielle Yawowiecka. The head of the World Health Organization has warned that the Democratic Republic of Congo is facing a catastrophic collision of disease and conflict, with the Ebola outbreak outpacing the response. About 1,000 people are showing symptoms in the eastern province of Ituri. Spanish police have entered the headquarters of the governing Socialist Party in Madrid. They're looking for information as part of an investigation into alleged illegal financing. A former member of the German militant group, the Baader-Meinhof gang, has been jailed for 13 years for carrying out a string of armed robberies. Daniela Kletter was finally caught in a flat in Berlin after more than 30 years on the run. Israel is carrying out a new wave of airstrikes in southern Lebanon after issuing evacuation warnings for the city of Nabatea and several other towns. The Israeli military has been intensifying its strikes on what it says are Hezbollah targets in response to increased drone attacks. The Iraqi religious leader Muqtada as-Sadr has announced that the military wing of his Shia political movement will be integrated into Iraq's state security forces. The move comes amid growing pressure from the US on Baghdad to curb the influence of Iranian-backed armed groups. 5 people trapped in a cave in Laos for a week have been found alive. Rescuers are still searching for 2 others in the remote network of tunnels, which the men had apparently entered in search of gold. India's Prime Minister has urged people to take all possible precautions in response to an extreme heat wave. Schools have closed early for the summer holidays. Residents of Delhi have been advised to stay indoors. Hungarian MPs have voted overwhelmingly for the country to remain a member of the International Criminal Court. The previous government of Viktor Orban withdrew from the court's jurisdiction after it sought the arrest of Israel's Prime Minister. BBC World News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio. The 25th Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts, Hope, is here. Presented by the New Self-Help Foundation, Sunday, June 28th at the Hawkwheel Theatre. Awesome performances by Rico Rolando, Erica Asai, actress Caitlin Tyson, Daquan Smith, UCCI Dance Company, Radiance Dance Studio, Center Point Limited, John Gray Kitchen Band, and Starlight Elite Strings, Michelle T, and more. Tickets cost $15 CI prepaid or $20 at the gate, and available from the #1 shoe shop and Winner's Circle Sports. Talent Exposition of the Arts, Hope, hosted by Anika Jefferson and Lloyd Parker. June 28th at the Hawkwheel Theatre. Gates open at 5 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Part proceeds from this event to benefit the Pines Retirement Home.
Radio Cayman Super Jam Show, the #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
Brought to you by these kind sponsors.
The Cayman Islands Football Association, CIFA, building a better future for Cayman football.
Cayman Insurance Center.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call me today, Michael Webster, at 925-5433.
UWI Open Campus, on-site, online, and on demand.
Visit open.uwi.edu. Call them today at 946-8322.
And Coca-Cola, from generation to generation, still a Cayman classic.
The #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
The 8 a.m. weather update, brought to you by
CG Britcade, where people come first.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 83 degrees. Relative humidity is 89%. The barometric pressure is 29.93 inches and falling. The wind is east at 8 knots. Overnight low temperature was 75 degrees. Synopsis indicates scattered showers and thunderstorm activity is expected to continue as deep low-level moisture becomes enhanced as an upper-level trough lingers to the west of the Cayman area. Showers could be accompanied by fresh to locally strong winds and seas, which will be moderate with rough conditions expected in open waters. A small craft alert is in effect, and satellite imagery show convective cloud mass over the Cayman area. Forecast for today calling for cloudy skies with scattered showers and some thunder, and temperatures today will be in the upper 80s with a heat index near 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be rough with wave heights of 6 to 8 feet. A small craft alert is in effect for today and tonight as well. Forecast for tonight calling for cloudy skies with scattered showers and some thunder, and temperatures falling near the mid to upper 70s tonight. Your winds will be east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots, and seas will be rough with wave heights of 6 to 8 feet. Low tide will be this afternoon at 1:43, high tide tonight at 8:27. The sun will set this evening at 6:57 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:48. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Thursday as elevated moisture continues to linger over the western Caribbean. Marine conditions are expected to begin improving from late Thursday as a result of the pressure gradient gradually weakening thereafter. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Let's hear it for your Wildcat cheerleaders.
Aunt Angie, weren't you a cheerleader?
The best in the Western Hemisphere, until I attempted that switch kick double twist roundhouse.
Huh?
Exactly. I must have been in the air for 20 seconds before I fell into that snare drum. I set a world record, though, and thankfully I could trust the CG Medical Portal with my claims. All 37 of them.
The CG Medical Portal. Safe and secure. CG Britcade. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update, brought to you by
CG Britcade, where people come first.
Cayman Art Week is back and bigger than ever, with art on show at over 50 venues across all 3 islands from Tuesday the 26th to Sunday the 31st of May. From one-off pop-ups and creative collaborations to open studios and late-night gallery hours, all events are free and there's art on sale for every budget. Join a guided bus tour or visit at your own pace. You'll find everything you need to know at CaymanArtWeek.com.
For 50 years, Radio Cayman has been the steady voice at the center of our islands. In every hurricane, every moment of uncertainty, it's the station we turn to for calm, clear, reliable information. So many of our musicians had their very first airplay right here, and our local sound continues to grow because Radio Cayman gives it a home. And of course, the talk shows, the heartbeat of our community. For many Caymanians, this has been the only place to share concerns, ask questions, and feel truly heard. None of this would be possible, of course, without the dedicated staff who have served this station for decades. Here's to 50 years of service and to many more years of being the voice of the Cayman Islands. I am Lorna Bush.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning, let's check in with traffic, see what's slowing, what's flowing. Further up on Shamrock Road, traffic is moving at a moderate pace. Further down, a little different story, a little steadier traffic. As you approach the Crew Road area, traffic is slow moving, heading to the Georgetown area. Heading east on Crew Road, traffic moving on pretty good. And coming from the West Bay four-way stop, flowing at a moderate pace. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, moderate flow of traffic in both directions. Remember, some roads are wet, so please drive with extra caution. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue flowing pretty good in both directions, and steady bit flowing traffic on North Sound Road. Industrial Park area moving at a moderate pace as well. If you've seen accidents, let us know by calling us at 949-6990. Fasten your seatbelt, click it or ticket.
Start your year off right with Subway's Fresh Fit menu. 4 protein-packed subs with 20 grams or more protein, under 500 calories, and loaded with full servings of crisp veggies on hearty multi-grain bread. Try the grilled chicken and avocado, the ham and turkey stacker, the seasoned steak and avocado, or the turkey and ranch delight. Big flavor, plenty of protein, and fresh veggies in every bite. Fuel your day the Fresh Fit way. Only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
The Ministry of Education and Training invites eligible Caymanians to apply for a local scholarship for the 2026-2027 academic year. If you haven't applied yet, you still have time. The deadline has been extended to Sunday, 31st of May, 2026. To apply or learn more about the various scholarship offerings, please visit www.moescholarships.gov.ky. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education and Training.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We will soon have our guests seated in the studio. Meanwhile, we have a few housekeeping measures that we can take care of. You would have heard this morning on our bulletin board, or it may have been the news as well, in relation to the bulletin that was sent out by the passport office urging residents to safeguard travel documents ahead of the hurricane season. So the Passport and Corporate Services Office is urging all residents to verify the validity of their travel documents and take steps to protect them ahead of the hurricane season, which starts on June 1st. I'm going to pause there for a second and just say there are some of you or some of us who have the benefit of or the luxury of having a Cayman BOTC passport, Cayman Islands, as well as a British passport as well. And the expiry date and each of those may not coincide. In most instances, they do not coincide as well. So you want to ensure that you check the validity of both, because depending on where you're traveling, it may be easier to travel on one as opposed to the other. So check both if you have both as well. The bulletin then goes on to say, as part of the preparation process, residents are advised to check passport expiry date to ensure validity for dates of travel. Check that the passport is valid based on the country's entry requirements. For example, when traveling to the United States, the British Overseas Territories citizen Cayman Islands passport must be valid for at least 6 months after the intended date of departure from the United States. I'll repeat that part because that one is important, since the United States is a primary destination for many of us here in Cayman. So check that the passport is valid based on the country's entry requirements. For example, when traveling to the United States, the British Overseas Territories citizen Cayman Islands passport, that's the one that says Cayman Islands on it, it must be valid for at least 6 months after the intended date for departure from the United States. Other point, ensure that you have the necessary visas / entry permission required. For example, for entry to the United States of America, a valid U.S. visa or a visa waiver, or in the case of a British citizen passport, a valid U.S. visa, which is the ESTA or the ESTA. You should apply for or renew passports before your travel time. Don't wait until the last second and then think that you're going to get an expedited, that you may get an expedited service, right? Those applying for the issuance of a British citizen passport should submit only color copies of the British Overseas Territories citizen Cayman Islands passport with the application. So they want only color copies of your British Overseas Territories citizen passport that you have to submit with your application. Also, apply for any necessary visa as required for travel. So you check the country that you're traveling to, whether or not a visa is required. And if one is required, then you should apply for it early, right? Make copies of passports and key documents and store them in waterproof containers in a place where they can be easily accessed during emergencies. Yeah. Residents are reminded that travel documents cannot be issued when government offices are closed due to adverse weather conditions. So you remember that. If there are adverse weather conditions, they cannot issue travel documents simply because they're not an office. They can't open their offices as well. So if you need any further assistance, you can contact the Passport and Corporate Services Office. Their number is area code 345-649-7678 or 345-943-7678, or you can email them at passportandcorporate@gov.ky. So again, extremely important. Check your travel documents, check the expiry dates, of them as well. And don't assume that if you have more than one passport that the expiry date for one is the same as the other. Like I said before, two different types of application processes when it comes to the British passport and the British Overseas Territories passport as well. And very rarely do you have a situation where both will expire around the same time. This, folks, is extremely important. If you have friends or family members as well, just ask them the question, have you ensured that your passport is current, that you have sufficient time left on it? Because, for instance, if you're traveling on a BOTC Cayman Islands passport to the United States, there must be at least 6 month validity left on the passport within the time frame that you are intended to leave the United States, as well. So there has to be 6 months left on the passport. So if you're going, for whatever period of time, there must be a 6 month period left on it as well. Most people will ensure that they renew their passports early enough to ensure that that is the case. But again, hurricane season's coming up pretty soon, so you want to be prepared for that as well. I think I have covered all that I want to cover. Oh, I did mention this immediate release in relation when we had Mr. Mario Rankin on the phone in relation to the utility regulator assessing concerns relating to homeowners' solar participation. It appears as if there may have been something, and I'll just share this part with you. It says the office, that is our core, is aware of the issues being raised from a petition that is currently circulating, and they are already gathering information to properly assess the situation, including concerns relating to customer communications, approval processes, installation requirements, and the distinction between regulatory obligations and utility operating procedures. ERCO wrote to Caribbean Utilities Limited last week regarding communications issued in relation to unauthorized solar installation and matters affecting homeowner solar participation. In that correspondence, the office noted the importance of ensuring that any communication or follow-up action clearly reflects the respective roles of ERCOR as the regulator, CUC as the licensee and system operator, and other relevant statutory bodies such as the Building Control Unit, the Electrical Inspectorate, and the Electrical Board of Examiners. The office also made clear that any references to legal obligations, offenses, enforcement outcomes, reporting requirements, or deadlines must be properly framed within the applicable legislation, approved programs, license conditions, codes, and regulatory framework, and should not imply that CUC independently determines regulatory compliance obligations or enforcement outcomes. ERCOR does not object to the objective of improving visibility of distributed generation and encouraging compliance with applicable safety and regulatory requirements. However, the office is reviewing the information available and has requested that CUC engage with ERCOR on any follow-up actions, compliance programs, enforcement matters, or further communications arising from these issues. ERCO will continue to assess the matter and consider the appropriate next steps, including whether additional regulatory guidance or clarification to the market is required, including to help ensure a clear, consistent, and legally sound approach that does not create inappropriate hurdles to homeowners' participation in solar and renewable energy solutions. Folks, this is a strong release that has been issued by ERCOR, and they have used very, very, looking for a word other than strong, but deliberate wording to CUC in this regard. It appears as if, not appears, they speak to the fact that there is a petition that is currently in circulation, and it appears as if CUC may have issued some instructions or communications to homeowners in this regard. Very, very strong approach that ORCO has taken in this regard, and I'm sure that we have not heard the last of that as well. And my pleasure to say good morning to Mr. Roy Tatum, Member of Parliament, who represents the constituents of Red Bay. Mr. Tatum, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, OC. My colleagues, I think I hear one coming in.
Yes,
we
I did.
had a delay in traffic. Morning to everybody. Morning to all of Grand Cayman, especially my constituents in Red Bay. And as always, my friends and family in Cayman Bracken and Little Cayman. Good to be here with you, sir.
Great to have you. Great to have you. I don't know if any of you are familiar with this, the whole issue with the Utility Regulation and Competition Office. It seems as if there may have been some issue between CUC and homeowners connecting to solar and everything else. I don't know if any of you know the genesis of this.
I haven't seen a petition that you referenced a few minutes ago. I will go and seek it out after this. But if you could send me that press, I hadn't seen the press release either. Actually.
Okay, yeah.
If you send me that press release, I will certainly look into it. Other than that, the main concern that I've always had is this thought that individuals who can afford solar systems, because they're not cheap, that the average, everyday individual should be helping to fund that cost. Because it does show up on your CUC bill, it shows my CUC bill, the amount that is then paid to the individuals who can afford these solar systems. There's various arguments for and against, but I'm not keen on the average person having to pay for those who can afford them. So that's my 2 cents. But I will certainly look into that once I received that from you.
Yeah, Cayman lost a very strong advocate for solar energy in the Cayman Islands several years ago, the late Jim Knapp.
Jim Knapp.
You know, he.
I was remembering him just this morning, but his name came. Yeah, I knew Jim very, very well. I knew him when before, because he worked for Butterfield Bank, where I worked for some time.
Okay.
And he was part of our IT, one of our IT gurus. And so I got to know him very, very well. But I did know him before that. He and I used to meet for lunch and discuss various things, including in the early days of the internet and so on. But yeah, great guy, great guy. I really liked him.
Yeah. Strong advocate, like I said, as well.
His entire house, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
His entire house that was off the grid.
Okay, we're going to go to our commercial break. When we return, we will say good morning to the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Kenneth Bryan. Don't change that dial. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Come to the 19th Annual Tool Fest between May 29th and June 6th at A.L. Thompson's to pay the lowest prices of the year for tools and select building materials. Go to althompson.com to see the 8-page Tool Fest circular loaded with the best select brand deals on Makita, Milwaukee, Bosch, Flex, Steel, and more. On May 29th and 30th, learn what's new in the industry and enjoy demos, gifts, and prizes from more than 50 brand reps. Join us and let us welcome you to Tool Fest at A.L. Thompson's.
For 50 years, Radio Cayman has been the heartbeat of our islands, bringing you the news, the music, and those moments that matter most and more.
From the final days to the digital ways.
And now, it's time to celebrate you. This Thursday and Friday, we're giving away exciting prizes on air as we continue to mark 50 years strong. Tune in, listen out for your cue, and you could be walking away with something special just for being a part of our journey. Thank you, Cayman Islands, for 50 incredible years. Radio Cayman, yesterday, today, and the next 50.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Earlier, I introduced Mr. Roy Tatum into the studio. Now my pleasure to introduce the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Kenneth Bryan. Mr. Bryan, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor, and good morning to your listening audience. Good morning to Ms. Susan. Special good morning to my constituents in Georgetown Central and across the whole of the Cayman Islands. It's a pleasure to be here with my colleague in studio on this beautiful Wednesday morning in the Cayman Islands.
Okay. I see both of you dressed to the T this morning. You must be going somewhere special.
Yeah, well, today is the 5th Commons and Overseas Territory Speakers Conference.
Okay.
And we've been had the luxury of being the host destination this year. So we have some significant dignitaries on island. We have the speaker from Anguilla, Bermuda, British Virgin Islands, Gibraltar, Montserrat, Turks and Caicos, and even the deputy speaker from the UK. Mm-hmm. So we want to take this opportunity to thank our honourable speaker, Mr. Ezard Miller, for putting this together. And there will be a 2-day discussion talking about some very important matters in respect to our parliaments within the region. Stuff like AI and the future of Parliament, ensuring legislative continuity in times of crisis. Like, for example, when COVID hit, we had to make some quick adjustments thanks to Sir Alan McLaughlin's push of modernizing the standing orders to allow video within the chambers. So this conference, those speakers and the clerks will be having some discussions about these things that continue to improve and elevate and modernize our parliaments, because it's the house of democracy. And when democracy is healthy, everything goes well. I must say that I am particularly excited about the one in respect to supporting an effective opposition and strengthening scrutiny and democratic accountability. So I'm looking forward to that discussion. But that's where we're going this morning, and we look forward to unfortunately leaving a little bit early, so we prepared with our dignitaries this morning, and it's over the next 2 days.
Now, this is going to be in camera, or it's something that aired publicly?
The opening will be made to the public, but the rest of it is in camera.
Okay.
I am not fully aware whether it's going to be recorded and played again, but a special invitation for the rest of the core thing. But this morning is the opening and welcoming, warm Caymanian welcome.
And this morning will actually be held at the Parliament. The rest of the conference will be held off-site.
Okay.
So, but the opening will be at Parliament.
Well, Mr. Connor, I think we obviously have limited time this morning, so my colleague has some things to address, because after that I'm just going to talk about the parliamentary stuff that are coming, and then next week we can get more into it, because we have a very short window this morning. You want to go ahead?
Right. So just want to say that two things. The ICCI graduation last night, we had to attend, well, didn't have to, but I attended an event for the same speakers conference that we talked about, and I left early to make it to the graduation. I'm glad I did. It was a fantastic event. It was really, the graduations always are, but it was really fantastic. And made even more special by it, there was a young lady who I didn't realize was graduating, and at the end of the evening, all the graduates came, walked up there, and they shook the hands of all the staff members who were there, the parliamentarians and so on. And when she saw me, she threw her arms around me and hugged me. And I didn't realize, but I saw her, I realized who it was. And then, but also special because we had two members of our parliament, staff members graduating, Christopher Clark,
okay,
and Tichelle McLean. Both fantastic universities. It was good to see them there being awarded, and it was a fantastic evening. Hats off to them. It wasn't overly long, but it was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. Seeing all the young people, and some not so young, getting their just desserts. And I didn't realize this, but the phrase that they're taught is "finish strong." So that was mentioned several times, both by the graduates. That the theme that they have there, the theme is the right word, is "finish strong," and that's a very good thing to contemplate, especially for us politicians as we go through our term. We need to make sure we do the things we need to do for our constituents to make sure we finish strong. I sat next to a lady who, in conversation with her son, she said, has met me before, and he's spoken of me. So this morning I wanted to give a shout out to, hope I'm saying it correctly, Javion Barrett. He's the head boy, and special shout out to him. And also some other good news. He's at Red Bay Primary. Some other good news. I mentioned before some playground equipment for Red Bay Primary. That has actually now been finalized, and the press release has come out. So I'm happy to announce. I'll just read from the press release. Mise en Place & Co. is honoured to announce our sponsorship towards the development of a new playground for Red Bay Primary School, a project that is urgently needed and will bring renewed joy, safety and opportunity for play to the children of the Red Bay Primary School community. I want to thank Sean Collins. Prior to the election, Sean and I had discussions about a variety of things. One of the things he indicated was he wanted to give back to the children in the community. Once I was elected, I found this need was there. I connected back with Sean, and he spoke with his board and partners and so on, and they agreed to donate $20,000 towards what probably should be the first phase of getting some proper playground equipment. They don't have enough playground equipment at Red Bay Primary School now. So I thank him. I thank Mr. Barrett of the PTA. I thank Dr. Dale, the principal of the school. They do good work across all our primary schools, but certainly at Red Bay Primary School. And hats off to them. I'm glad that Mise en Place and Sean has stepped up to make this donation, it will be a wonderful new addition to the school, and I'm very pleased about that. So just wanted to announce that this morning.
Okay.
So, congratulations again to the university graduates, particularly the two that work within the Parliament precincts, who do a very vital role to our democratic structure, but obviously to all the kids. Mr. Corner, as you know, the Parliament is expected to return on the 19th, I think, of June, if my memory serves me well. So there's deadlines for questions and motions that are now been set, and I'm pleased to say that there has been a number already submitted. I think 9 at this point from the official opposition. And though the standing orders don't speak to the motions not being able to be spoken about publicly, until they are officially approved and we clarify the standing order misinterpretation, I won't talk about it. But what I can do today is I've received instructions from Parliament that some of our questions have been approved. And it's important that while we come every Wednesday to update you on what the opposition does, because sometimes it's misinterpreted our role. Our job is accountability. And like they say, keep applied pressure. The more we continue to examine and keep them on their toes, the better the outcome will be for the people. Did I hear when we were in the break that the fuel price has gone up again?
Another 2 cents.
Another 2 cents. All right. Just thought I would...
Before you get on that, I submitted 5 as well. Don't know if you had that in the account or not.
No, not in the account for motions or questions?
Questions.
Questions, no, but I did happen to see them.
Yeah, I sent them to you.
Yeah.
But they haven't been approved as yet, as far as I know.
Okay, maybe you might want to check your email.
All right.
So I submitted another 6 since the last time we were on the radio. 5 of them I've gotten confirmation is approved. Now, this topic that I'm about to speak to in respect to question has come up before about construction work on the weekends. And many people say, particularly in the residential areas, the noise and the disturbance it does. Interestingly enough, I had an personal encounter of a government-sponsored event or construction site working on the weekend. And I had to go through a very long series of steps to ask, is this going to continue throughout the long weekend? I was told that yes. I said, well, is there not a government policy in respect to this? No indication for that government entity. I'm not going to specify which entity it is. I think it's irrelevant. But the question that I'm putting forward now is whether to the Deputy Governor, if the civil service has a policy on construction work carried out on the weekends in residential neighborhoods by government-sponsored entities. The reason why I'm asking the question is because I know the answer. The answer is there's none. But it also brings up the attention that they need one, because we cannot accuse private sector of making noise in people's neighborhoods when the government itself will pay contractors to do work on the weekend in neighborhoods as well. It's being rather hypocritical. So that's the first question. The other question has to do with something that you spoke about in the earlier part of your show about the welfare assistance. I wouldn't even say welfare. Welfare has such a negative connotation in these days, but social assistance for persons who are needing help to make do. And the question is to the Honorable Isaac Rankin. Can the Honorable Minister provide a detailed update on the ongoing financial assistance reassessment process conducted over the last 12 months by the Department of Financial Assistance? Specifically, the number of individuals or households whose financial assistance benefits have been reassessed, the number of recipients who have experienced a reduction in their monthly disbursements following the reassessment, and lastly, the aggregate dollar figure saved or deducted from the public assistance distribution as a direct result of these benefit reductions. What I'm trying to find out is, in this time today, with the high cost of living, they're going through an exercise of taking money away from people. I want to know how many people have been affected by this reduction, because I am getting calls almost every single day of another Caymanian who's saying, Kenneth, they did a reassessment, and now they've taken more money away from me in a time when they're supposed to be considering to do the opposite. Now, granted, government's job is to make sure that the people are getting services or help that deserve it. But this reminds me of right before the election when I was saying to them, it's not the appropriate time to go through that exercise. Yet again, we've seen at probably the worst time ever, when cost of living has increased, when the government has accepted themselves that the inflation rate has increased by 100%, and we continue to get further expenses increase for the average person. They're going through an exercise of cutting people's social care. It is quite embarrassing, to be honest with you. I think it's so lacking in empathy to those people who only have the government to depend on. They have no other means. And sometimes it's even those seniors that we talk about on a regular basis.
How often do people undergo reassessments?
I think there is a rule every 3 years, depending on the severity or your age bracket. If you are below 65, I think it's almost every year. And if your circumstances have changed, the law mandates that you tell them. So you're obligated to say, oh, well, my money has changed, or I got a job. You're not supposed to just continue to take help without letting them know, because we're not supposed to be just giving you money just because. But I think that there's enough urgency now where I think it's well within the hundreds of, if not close to thousands of persons whose monies have been reduced in over the last 12 months since the election. And maybe the government may think that's a great thing. Maybe they're thinking that those persons who get that help don't deserve it. But it just doesn't make sense from a mathematical perspective that when cost is going up, you're reducing social care to those who apply for it. And it's normally persons who are getting it on a permanent basis.
But isn't it also possible that during that reassessment process that more information may have come to light that may make that person ineligible for what they were previously getting?
Very possible.
Yeah.
So here's what the minister and the government needs to do. Come on this government-owned radio station and tell the people why you're cutting their money. That's what the question is about.
No, you tell the individuals why you're cutting their money. So if I'm receiving government assistance, for instance, and I receive a financial windfall as a result of the sale of property or whatever, and that has been disclosed to the authorities, and that is taken into consideration, then they say to the applicant, you're now being reassessed. Your allowance is being reduced simply because you now have this amount of money that you have told us about.
Agreed.
Or that we have discovered.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly. So the question is, are you sure that people are being told?
Well,
now we're getting. So there's not everything you want to let out in respect to your questioning.
But we would hope that government is has a policy and a process in place that right to know why government is making a decision.
Fair enough. Yeah, of course.
And to tell
they're obligated. They're obligated to do that.
And tell the person in writing.
Yes.
I've heard situations from people that are believable to me, especially older people, who have who tells me they received a phone call, and on the basis of a phone call that such and such won't be paid next month. Right? And I say, sure, and you get something in writing? No, I didn't get anything in writing.
That's not good enough.
So, exactly.
No.
So, Mr. Corner, the next one, and I encourage anybody who has had their assistance, particularly those permanent persons in the old age bracket or have disabilities, that their monies have been reduced or cut, call in the show, because I want Mr. Corner and everybody else to hear it, because we are the MPs who get the phone calls. We try to fight behind the scenes, and a lot of people don't recognize how severe it is. And I think it's time for them to start speaking up a little bit. So the show is your show, paid for by your money. Be happy to call in. This one I think you'd be rather interested in. How many people categorized as prohibited immigrants in other countries that have been located here in the Cayman Islands on work permits or otherwise within the last 5 years, broken down annually, and what particulars of each person's prohibitive status. I've been reliably informed that there's been a large spike in acknowledgement or capture, or I'm not sure how you would say that, but they've found a number of persons here who were prohibited immigrants elsewhere, and because of our lack of systems, of information systems of...
Are you sure prohibited immigrants had been deported from other countries?
Well, they'd be prohibited from that country, not from Cayman. So the way the question is worded, how many prohibited immigrants from other jurisdictions, so they're prohibited from going to the United States because they've been deported, have been found in Cayman's jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
Now, normally...
Because you could be a prohibited immigrant for various reasons. You could
Correct.
be a prohibited immigrant not having been deported from the U.S., but ineligible to go simply because, let's say, of some serious criminal conviction or something. So I'm just wondering about the term prohibited immigrant as opposed to being deported from.
Well,
there's a difference.
There is a difference. I think the one that you want to use more so would be the prohibited immigrant, because that's the terminology that would be used in the immigration. But the issue that has been highlighted is that on the immigration form, when you're here, you have to say whether or not you have been deported or from another jurisdiction, and if you are caught lying on that, then that's grounds for you to lose your current immigration status. What I've been reliably informed is that we're catching a lot of, and this is a good thing for immigration, but it highlights the significance of our lack of intelligence systems. I've been made to understand we've now found that there have been people convicted of murder in most recent times, found here in the Cayman Islands on work permit, but it's not being mentioned. Now, you may ask yourself the question, well, Kenneth, why am I asking this? I think it's important that the public understands the severity of this so that we start to put the priority on the necessary technology, information, networks, and agreements with overseas territories, not overseas territories, other jurisdictions like the United States and England, in order for us to stop that. Because
information sharing is important,
it's
intelligence sharing.
And only when people realize how significant it is with these numbers that the public will get behind the government and say, listen, oh my God, we had 3 murderers working around here in Cayman, we didn't know. This is a way to find out the truth. We talk about it, but the data is there. But naturally, governments are not just going to come out and say, oh, we found 3 murderers in the Cayman. So my job as an opposition member is to highlight the severity so the public can give the support to the government to say, make this a priority on your list of 100 things, move it from 73 up to number 3. Yeah, that's the purpose and the strategy behind the questioning. I know we got to go to commercial break, so I will...
I believe, did we go past the 7:45 commercial break? Sorry about that. We need to take a break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
CUC advisory. Customers are advised of a scheduled outage on Sunday, May 31st between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. for all of Canal Point Drive off West Bay Road and the Esterly Tibbetts Highway. For more information, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200, email service@cuc.ky, or visit their website at www.cuc-kman.com.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Babe, not tonight. You keep poking me and I need to be rested for meetings tomorrow.
What? I was almost asleep. That's the mattress spring I keep telling you about, not me. We really need to get a new mattress.
Tossing and turning, back hurting, can't sleep? It might be time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Browse the huge mattress showroom at Brand Source Home Gallery and pick the perfect mattress today. With mattresses to suit every budget, Brand Source Home Gallery stocks a wide selection of sizes and styles like pillow top and gel memory foam. So stop tossing and turning and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
For 50 years, Radio Cayman has been the heartbeat of our islands, bringing you the news, the music, and those moments that matter most and more.
From the vinyl days to the digital ways.
And now, it's time to celebrate you. This Thursday and Friday, we're giving away exciting prizes on air as we continue to mark 50 years strong. Tune in, listen out for your cue, and you could be walking away with something special just for being a part of our journey. Thank you, Cayman Islands, for 50 incredible years. Radio Cayman, yesterday, today, and the next 50.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Just a quick interval and we're going to be going right back to our headline news at 9 o'clock. But we do have a caller. We're going to briefly take that caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, Mr. O.C. and good morning to MPs Tatum and MP Bryan. It's Johan Moxham. Hope all is well with you both.
Morning. Thank you.
Morning.
Jumping straight into it. Gentlemen, you could see that there's a lot of buzz in the press about the PR applications of a gentleman called Lawrence, otherwise known as Crazy Larry, began from applying for Cayman status. The footage of his assault on a young Caymanian driver on the east-west arterial road, but near to the Prospect Junction there, happened some time ago. We understand that he's now applying for PR. What is your individual views on persons like that who obviously have anger management issues and have demonstrated a wanton disregard for respect for Caymanians? What is your personal view on how the matter should be dealt with? Should he be afforded the privilege of being given permanent residency? If so, why? If you do not agree with that, can you explain to us why you would support it? But more importantly, does the party have a position on the need to address situations like this? And MP Bryan always spoke about the need for real immigration reform. It should be more difficult for persons who obviously don't fit in with what we consider to be good standards and law-abiding citizens. If you can't act accordingly when you're on a work permit, how are you going to act when you get PR? And God forbid, should you graduate to the status, Caymanian status level? So it would be interesting to hear what your views are as individuals, MPs, considering the fact that this man assaulted a young Caymanian, somebody's child in the car, and I'm confident in saying none of you would let that slide if anything like that were to happen with your children. So basic question, easy, looking forward to your answers. Take care.
Thank you very much, caller. Top of the hour, headline news. When we return, the conversation with Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Kenneth Bryan, and Member of Parliament, Mr. Roy Tatum, representing the constituency of Red Bay, and we will give them an opportunity to answer that caller's query as soon as we return.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Government says the Cayman Islands continued its record-breaking tourism performance in April by welcoming nearly 48,000 stayover visitors, making this the best April in the island's history. Total visitation included both stayover visitors and cruise passengers, reaching nearly 174,000, reflecting an overall increase of 37% year over year. In international news, the head of the World Health Organization has warned ongoing conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo is hampering the Ebola outbreak response. WHO says the east of the country was at the center of a, quote, catastrophic collision of disease and conflict, with the Ebola outbreak in the Ituri province outpacing the response. In a statement posted on X, the WHO said it cannot build community trust or isolate the sick while bombs are falling. The head of WHO is due to arrive in DR Congo today to spearhead scaling up efforts to contain the virus. There have been 220 suspected deaths since the outbreak was declared. And the commander of Hamas's military wing has been killed in a strike in the Gaza Strip, days after his predecessor died in a similar attack. At least 3 Palestinians were killed and dozens more were injured in the attack, which hit a residential building in one of Gaza's busiest markets. Israel's military said the buildings were serving as hideouts, and they were targeted after the former military commander's movements were tracked for several months. Hamas has yet to issue an official statement, but local sources said the commander and his wife, along with their adult son, were killed in the attack. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Your Cayman Islands Health Services Authority has been the national healthcare provider of the Cayman Islands for many generations. We have elevated our level of care to ensure you, our patients, have the best possible experience. We offer better access to care close to home with the most locations on all 3 islands, delivering a full range of primary, secondary, tertiary, and emergency care. HSA is a JCI accredited organization, and we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Kenneth Bryan, and Member of Parliament, Mr. Roy Tatum. Gentlemen, over to you.
Mr. Connor, before we address the caller's question, I want to give apologies on behalf of the Honourable Deputy Speaker, the Honourable Pearlina McGaw-Lumsden. She's unfortunately stuck in a little bit of traffic with that beautiful, amazing rain we got last night. And she herself is playing a major active role in the Speaker's Conference. So she's been busy working with the Speaker. Yep. So a lot on her plate. She's trying to squeeze in so much. She works so hard, I got to say that. So she may make it in for 20 minutes. If not, she'll be working very hard for us, making sure that the dignitaries are happy with their time here with us.
Understood.
In respect to the question by the last caller, I we want to thank them for participating in our discussions. In respect to, I don't know the individual's name, but this recent, I think, petition that is going around about a person's eligibility or whether they're deserving of permanent residence in the Cayman Islands. It's not something that the party has discussed. So there's no party position to say.
We have.
But the caller did strategically ask our individual positions as well. And I will say this, because I haven't even talked to my colleague here about this matter. First off, we have legislation and regulation that covers this area. And I think the boards that are appointed to examine persons' applications will have the legal advice to guide them on what they can and cannot do in respect to the Cayman Protection Act. There's sections that cover character and conduct, and there's provisions available within the law to reduce or point reductions on the basis of criminal behavior and misconduct. So I'm fully aware of ways to address what any kind of action, regardless of this particular person or not, any kind of action that is undesirable to the Caymanian community and Caymanian culture. So it'd be highly inappropriate for me to say much more than that without further information. But on the outset, I'll say that we definitely do not want to have persons who are delivering character that is unbecoming in our Cayman community, regardless of who they are. So I have not dived in enough into this to feel comfortable to say much more than that. But I do not agree with persons being given opportunities to stay here if they're going to just add negatively to our community. So I'll leave it there. That's my personal input. But to be honest with you, I'm glad that the caller called in so I can put this on my radar, because these types of cases will bring heightened attention to acts like this.
Yeah, my thoughts are this. Like a lot of people, I saw the video. It was deplorable. It certainly seemed from the videos that I've viewed that the individual, I think his name was being called Larry. I don't know the person. Was the instigator. I'm not pleased with what I heard from him at all, and I'm being gentle in saying that. However, I don't know anything else about him. I don't know if it was a one-off incident. I don't know his history. I don't know if he's done a lot of good in the community. I know nothing about that. The people who have the ability to get that information are the board members making the decision. And whether it's approved or not approved, they're the ones best placed based on what they know about him, his history, and also they have to act within the law as well. So I think the board, just like many of us, would have seen the videos, and they are the ones to determine. And let's see what happens. I'm not also one of those politicians that's very that likes to jump on a particular case and start to go shooting after people, especially when I don't know the facts.
Yeah, and these petitions can backfire to a certain extent.
They can.
Because if the board at some point in time could be accused of caving in to pressure as opposed to follow, like you said, following the law, which may then be possible grounds for a successful appeal, at the end of the day. So they have to be, when the persons who are presenting the petition, they have to be mindful of the parameters that have been set for the board to operate.
Exactly,
within.
because the last thing I want is in some legal case to have Roy Tatum's views on a talk show, right, and Kenneth Bryan's views on a talk show, whoever else's views, wherever they are, publicly, and then used for exactly what you just said, right, to be able to argue a case that the board could not have acted under their own thinking because of this public pressure. So I don't think it's helpful. I do agree where things happen that annoys us as a country, we should say it. I was unhappy with that. I will say that's all I will say about it. But as to anything else, I will leave that there.
Mr. Corner, while we transition into our honourable speaker, deputy speaker, who is here with us, I'll just say this, that to wrap up this subject and move on. We are seeing that we're entering some very challenging and interesting times in respect to immigration. Some heightened cases like the Conover-Watson discussion. This case, the new Cayman Protection Law, there is a strong tone of exclusion in the Cayman Islands that's been created by the current administration. So we're down in a dark space which the People's Progressive Movement do not support the negative connotations that's coming from it. We don't think in that way. We do have to protect our Caymanian people, but you don't do it by dividing the society. And this is another example of that. So we're going to think about this carefully in respect to any responses on behalf of the group. So we want to leave it there, but it's within interesting times. With that being said, Honourable Deputy Speaker is here, who's been working so hard for us and getting ready. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Good morning, OC, and thank you so much for having us once again. I appreciate that, and good morning, of course, to the wider Cayman population. It's good to be here. I'm not going to jump into the comments. I wasn't too sure what the comments were pertaining to, but what I will say from what I've gathered so far is there is a level of decorum, respect that's required in this society. And it's just that simple. When you come here, you need to be respectful to the people that reside here. You have to treat them with some level of dignity that's required in this society. And that's all that I would say pertaining to that matter. I think, like my colleagues has indicated, it's not for us to interfere. It's the board's decision. And we must obviously wait for due process to actually happen and then see what happens there.
All right, Mr. Corner, as you know, time is winding down. We don't have much time left, so I do have some other questions, but I'll leave mine till next week as sharing up the discussion. My honourable member colleague has some questions that he's been informed have been approved, so we're going to ask him to speak to those until we get to the break.
Thank you, sir. So I have 3 questions that I've heard have been approved so far. One is, can the honourable minister advise on the full list of specific, this is the Minister responsible for the environment, advise on the full list of specific single-use plastics that the government intends to ban and when this ban will come into effect. We heard about plastics being banned. I think we've only heard about 3 so far. So I'm keen. I don't know why the others haven't been announced, but I've seen mention of 3 from plastic bags, straws, and I think polystyrene containers. What are the rest, and why haven't they been announced as well? It seems straightforward to me, so I'm keen to find out what these are. I hope they don't ban my single-use contact lenses, because I'll be in trouble. Can the Honourable Minister advise whether, this is the Minister for Planning and Housing, advise whether, considering the housing governance proposals contained in the Public and Affordable Housing Policy and 10-year strategic plan, the government intends for the National Housing Development Trust, or NHDT, to transition into a new housing authority, or B, continuing to operate alongside any such new authority, and if so, what, if any, changes may be proposed to the role, structure, or functions of the NHDT. Within this 10-year strategic plan, there's mention of a new housing authority. However, it also continues to talk about the NHDT, but it doesn't give any indication, as far as I've seen, as to what either it may have given some indication as to what the housing authority will do. But what will happen to the NHDT? What role will that be folded into this? That wasn't particularly clear. So I'm looking at getting some clarity on that. Housing, as you know, is extremely important. And then the other one to the minister: can the honourable minister advise which of the 98? And this is the words used. I left out one word. The plan called it clear and actionable proposals. So this says which of the 98 actionable proposals in the Public and Affordable Housing Policy and 10-year strategic plan will be completed by the end of this term in government.
It's a pretty straightforward question. And as you can tell, we're just wanting to be able to say tangible things. in the opposition, the official opposition, we don't want to be seen as just saying, oh, what you're doing just for opposition's sake. But you can't make an announcement about great things and plans without giving timelines. So we want to be able to hold you to account to something. And so this is a follow-up question in response.
And the public wants some hope that there'll be something done, not just words on some paper. And I heard you say this morning, I'm just trying to find it, but you said there was a headline this morning as well about...
That was one of the articles in the Cayman Compass.
What was the headline you said? I'm trying to find it here. It's Compass is unloading.
Okay, let me...
Sorry.
But just go ahead and continue talking. I'll find that.
So it made reference to their analysis as to what, from what you said the headline was, the analysis of what will be done with regards to housing.
Are we talking about the article of bursting at the seams infrastructure?
No, there's a new
housing one.
A new article on housing.
While we consider that and to look for that, I want to be very efficient with our time. Our Honourable Deputy Speaker has filed a rather significant motion also to give relief. So unless we're ready with that other article.
So I just a headline. I'm going to go through the article. It says NCFC administration's first year
minimal progress
on delivering affordable housing. So let's see what the next 3 years are, which is what this question is looking to determine.
Okay.
And I think it's fair to say that those are legitimate questions. And moving on now to Madam Deputy.
Thanks so much, Deputy Leader. So, OC, the motion that I actually filed was a motion to increase the personal duty waiver for returning residents from 500 to 800. And the core of the message, or what I'm trying to do here, is we know that residents are struggling in the Cayman Islands. It's really that simple with regards to high cost of living. And families, including myself, sometimes are trying to stretch every single dollar to make ends meet. This motion gives residents a little bit more breathing room when it comes to the cost of living in the Cayman Islands, without, of course, removing the custom duties altogether. That's not what we're doing. All we're doing is increasing. And we know summer is fast approaching. So a lot of returning residents go abroad to actually travel to get their supplies for their children. This is a relief that's going to obviously be impacted in a significant way, of course. So what we're trying to do is alleviate some cost of living when it comes to the residents of the Cayman Islands by either when they're traveling, parents buying school supplies. We also have seniors. A significant amount of children travel for their parents to buy supplies when it comes to their aging parents. So that's going to be impacted there as well. And families that are obviously trying to manage tight household budgets. That's going to be a significant relief. We know that inflation has increased significantly, and we haven't had an increase when it comes to the returning residents from 500. We haven't had that since 2018. It's now 2026. So, as time go along, cost of living has increased significantly.
And can get worse.
And it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
And so this is something with regards to trying to alleviate the cost of living, or bring some relief to the cost of living when it comes to this increase. We know groceries has increased, clothing has increased, school supplies has increased, everything has increased significantly. And so this is why I am putting the motion forward to ask the government, of course, to consider increasing from 500 to 800 for inflation purposes, for obviously the cost of living, and to bring some relief to our families.
Mr. Corner, one of the key components after discussing some of these motions that we're filing is recognizing that as the old saying goes, one cocoa full basket, and one savings makes you survive. So you will see that the opposition is trying to attack different areas that are impacting people one way or the other. So give a little break
address
here.
as opposed to attack.
Yeah.
Attack might sound a little bit too aggressive.
Fair enough. Address. You're correct. So we try to address
this high cost living needs to be attacked.
Fight fire with fire, right?
Yeah.
So, but we are also mindful, and I think it's important that I highlight this. We recognize that we don't want to negatively impact any other industries, like small business. And the reason, one of the things, a key factor in the motion, is a temporary measure. Most of these measures we are suggesting are ones to say, while we're dealing with the current circumstance, which we hope will not be on forever, and hopefully will reduce within the next couple of months, potentially 6 months, and God forbid it goes for a year. But these measures that we're suggesting are temporary, and it gives the government the opportunity to reassess again and go back, because we know that you make one change, another added change will have an impact. So we're mindful of small business, the business community, but we also have to understand that the average person needs to survive, and that's why we put a temporary measure on it. Is that fair?
Yeah, and I think we have to look at it that this motion is not a motion of anti-business. That's not what we're doing when it comes to this motion. We're just literally trying to bring some relief when it comes to the cost of living. Residents already shop overseas when it comes to price and availabilities anyway. That happens already amongst our residents. And with regards to the local business, they still provide convenience. That they're still there for a convenience standpoint. They're still there from a service standpoint as well. And immediate access to products is still going to be there. So that's not what we're trying to do. So please, I don't want anybody to think that this motion is anti-business. We're not anti-business. We're trying to bring, and like the deputy leader indicated, we are trying to look at various different mechanisms to bring the cost of living or bring some release to the cost of living. And it's not going to be what we always think of. We're trying with the fuel charges. We're now trying with regards to the waivers, and everything adds up. It's really that simple, And so the goal is just balance, supporting residents while I think recognizing the local commerce standpoint. That's what we're trying to achieve with this motion, or me.
Okay, I have to go to, I think we went past the commercial break, so bear with us, folks. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
This is an important announcement for all 1986 Cayman Islands High School graduates. It's time for your 40th reunion. We're throwing it back Saturday, 13th June, 6:30 p.m. at Georgetown Yacht Club. Tickets $65 available at Luxurious Nail Salon, Prodigy Jewelry, Reflections Shannon Road, and Jose's Rubis. Or call 926-1032. The CIHS class of 86. Time to go back, way back to the 80s. Saturday, June 13th at the Georgetown Yacht Club.
CUC advisory. Customers are advised of a scheduled outage on Sunday, May 31st between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. for all of Canal Point Drive off West Bay Road and the Esterly Tibbetts Highway. For more information, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200, email service@cuc.ky, or visit their website at www.cuc-cayman.com.
Looking to explore your future in Cayman's insurance industry? Join us at the Cayman Next Gen Insurance Forum on May 28th at the Marriott. This free event is designed for school leavers, university students, and early career Caymanians, with parents also welcome. Learn how the insurance and reinsurance industry works, hear from young professionals, and connect directly with people in the field. The event runs from 2:30 to 6 p.m. with refreshments provided. Register now at imac.ky or follow at iMac Cayman on Instagram for more information. Hosted by iMac, Circa, and CIIA.
Come to the 19th Annual Tool Fest between May 29th and June 6th at A.L. Thompson's to pay the lowest prices of the year for tools and select building materials. Go to althompson.com to see the 8-page Tool Fest circular loaded with the best select brand deals on Makita, Milwaukee, Bosch, Flex, Steel, and more. On May 29th and 30th, learn what's new in the industry and enjoy demos, gifts, and prizes from more than 50 brand reps. Join us and let us welcome you to Tool Fest at A.L. Thompson's.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Let me apologize because we're missing all of our commercial breaks. So we're going to come back to you at 9:30. Yeah, they're leaving. You have to be there at 9:45 or you're leaving here at 9:45.
9:45. We always push the limit. So we're going to try to get out of this studio at 9:35.
Okay. So my question to you, Susan, is I need to come back to you in 5 minutes? No. Okay. So we can go right straight through. Okay.
Mr.
Ladies
Connor,
and gentlemen.
Just quickly to say that this Speakers Conference, which I know the Honorable Speaker has been on, is very important. It helps our democracy tremendously, and I look forward to the opportunities to hear what the learned our honorable guests will be saying about what happens in their parliaments. And I'm also very proud to see that our Sir Alan McLaughlin, who some may not like him, some will love him, but what they will never question is his knowledge and his contribution to the constitutional advancements of this country,
Separation
and his ability to give context within that narrative of the Cayman component. So I'm really happy that the Honorable Speaker chose him to be a part of the panel discussion while we talk about the advancements of our democracy. I'm really looking forward to that content, that conversation, especially with the UK Deputy Speaker and the many speakers from our region and the Caribbean region and overseas territories. And I want to take this opportunity to also highlight that it's not only about the speakers, because there's a silent army of people who keep the sacred scrolls of democracy going and the engine room of democracy going, and that's the clerks and the staff. They don't get enough praise for it. The speakers are the guiding lights to keeping us at bay when we go in our fury of fighting debates, but the clerks are just as important. So,
let me add to that. Very little, but when I attended the small workshop in the Maldives, one thing that was quite clear and evident was that Cayman is a respected overseas territory with a strong parliamentary tradition. So it matters that it is here because our participation ensures that Cayman maintains a voice at the table. And that's extremely important when it comes to international parliamentary matters. It also gives the Cayman Islands and parliaments great exposure. And it involves so many different things, ethics, legislative reform, technology when it comes to AI. It also involves youth engagement that obviously our deputy leader is the chairperson for because last night we had a reception. And of course, our YPs were there because their involvement is important. It's important that they have a seat at the table. And so why Cayman matters is because we need young people at the seat of the table. We need to be heard because we're a respected jurisdiction as well. And of course, it also is a learning curve as well for all of us because we will learn things here. But it's also an opportunity for us to network as well and to learn from other parliamentarians. So I'm extremely happy as Deputy Speaker to see that the conference is here. I'm just hoping that, of course, everybody extends that Cayman kind attitude, of course, but at the same time, we learn, we hash out things, and then we grow as parliamentarians.
Very quick joke before we go to break. The Speaker for Anguilla last night, I said to her that when I worked with Barclays Bank, I was transferred to Anguilla. So I worked for a year plus in Anguilla with Barclays. So she said to me that two of our most troublesome individuals within Parliament used to work for Barclays Bank. And I don't know if I should have said that publicly. Of course, she was being jovial about it. And I said, would that be Hayden and Merrick? He said yes. I said I supervised them at Barclays when I was there, so I know them very well as young men, and I've kept in touch with Hayden more than Merrick. But two great individuals, so it was nice to have that exchange. And
Hayden Hughes,
yeah.
Oh my God,
I know you know Hayden.
I know him. He's my good friend, man.
But they were. It was just nice to have that exchange and to talk a little bit about Anguilla and some of the changes that have been there since I lived there many years ago.
Mr. Corner, I think it's time for us to do some closing remarks. So I'll ask my Honourable Deputy Speaker to quickly say something before we exit for the conference.
Sure, and thanks again so much for having us, OC. We truly appreciate it, and it's always a joy to come here. Even though it's a struggle in the traffic because
I can imagine,
it's unreal.
Yes.
But in addition to the Speakers Conference that's happening this week, we also must remind the public, of course, of the state opening and the throne speech, which is happening June 19. We encourage every single person to participate in this. And so we want to encourage everybody to come, at one way or another, have your voice heard or be involved in some aspect or another. But it's also good to participate. And so we want to encourage everybody there. Again, it's June the 19th. Again, thank you so much, and we appreciate the time. And everyone have a great day in the Cayman Islands.
Boy.
Always good to be here with you, sir, and good to be able to speak to the public. Next time we'll be able to take a few more calls.
Sure.
But have a good rest of the week, everyone, and see you next week.
Again, on behalf of the official opposition, Mr. Corner, thank you for having us. Next week we'll be speaking about the rest of the motions, the rest of the questions, and a very exciting new venture, which is the Office of the Leader of Opposition. The official opposition, is expanding our strategy, our effectiveness, our efficiency. So we got a lot of good news, and I think the public will be happy about it. And the leader, he'll be back this evening. And by next week, Wednesday, we'll have a lot to talk about. So thank you. God bless Cayman, and God bless Radio Cayman.
All the best.
Okay. Thank you. All the best as well. Okay, Ms. Susan, I can come to you now. Folks, please stay tuned. When we return, the phone lines will be open for you to comment, offer any comments or ideas, and I will share with you some of the comments that were received in the previous discussions this morning as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget, our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Radio Cayman News.
The courts heard that the dispute was over turtle meat allocation.
Designed to make it easier for vulnerable Caymanians to get access to financial assistance.
So that we can provide transitional housing for those people who need that help for a short period of time.
It's about continued evolution as a global gateway.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
7 days a week.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Imagine coming home to a space that's fresh, spotless, and stress-free without lifting a finger. With My Candor Cleaners, you get more than just a clean home or office. You get more time, less stress, and the comfort of a space that's truly refreshed. Residential homes to commercial spaces, their trusted team takes care of the hard work so you can focus on what matters the most. Trustworthy, professional, elite-level service, starting at $49 for daily corporate services and $99 for residential. Call 326-3379 today and experience the difference with My Candor Cleaners. Cleaner spaces, happier places. My Candor Cleaners.
This is Raymond Scott wishing Radio Cayman a very happy and successful 50th anniversary. As I recall, I was the first reporter for weather reports from Cayman Brac, phoning into Lomax Rankin in the early hours of the morning, giving the weather update in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, and I had numerous opportunities. Thank you, Radio Cayman, for all you have done and provided this service for us all of these years.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record, an abbreviated discussion with members of the opposition this morning due to they having to attend the Speakers Conference and the opening ceremonies taking place this morning as well. So folks, the phone lines are open. If you want to call in, if you have any questions or comments or observations in relation to what was discussed so far this morning as well. And so, our toll-free number 1-800-534-8255, also 949-8037, 949-6990. Our WhatsApp number 925-3261. Few comments that came in from our listeners. This one says, "Good morning, OC. Can anyone comment on whether the previous government of years ago, probably the PPM, gave the DART group permission to build the tunnel/walkway under part of the Tibbetts Highway? If so, I hope that the DART group had to pay government for use of public property, that being the road." That's one question coming from one of our listeners. This other one, person says that in relation to the comment about the needs assessment and persons having their financial assistance reduced, this person wrote and said, "Thank you. Not everyone stays in the same situation. There are others who no longer qualify for assistance. However, they continue to receive it while others are suffering, and these are generational Caymanians who are suffering as well." Yes. And I must say that we have seen in the past attempts by governments, various governments, to address the whole issue of financial assistance, who qualifies and who does not qualify, and in some instances where there appears to be abuse of the system, addressing those abuses and removing persons from the role or the roles, and in some instances that those actions by governments receiving opposition from the public, opposition from members of parliament as well. It is not an easy issue. It is necessary because there many times, let's put it this way, there are persons out there who know more than the authorities themselves know. And when they pass that information on to the authorities, I think it is certainly incumbent upon them to look into the situations, investigate them, and act accordingly as well. So that is extremely important that the government look at these particular situations. If they're being abused, then addressing it. The other point that was discussed this morning as well had to do with how government goes about notifying applicants that of their decisions, whether or not that should be in writing, and that is the case. It really, any decision made by government or public authority, it should be communicated in writing. It should also point out what remedies the person may have if they are dissatisfied with the decision of the decision maker. We're not in the days of the old Caymanian protection law when you appealed Caesar's decision to Caesar, where you had the executive council issuing policy directions to boards like the Caymanian Protection Board. And then once the decision is made, and if it is not acceptable or in favor of the applicant, that applicant having the right to appeal. And who did they appeal to? They appeal to Executive Council, the same body that gave the directions in the first place. So you were appealing Caesar's decision onto Caesar. You also didn't have to give reasons for the decision. All of that has changed. So I can't see any government entity making a decision these days and not, number one, putting it in writing, and number two, not advising you of any remedies that you may have or how to access the any remedies that may be in place. And if you, as a customer, as a client out there, receive anything verbally, ask them to put it in writing for you as well. Government is obligated to advise you of their decision. They should put it in writing. It should possibly be also in plain language so that you understand it as well. But that right to appeal a decision or to challenge a decision has to be there as well. And this other person has written in and said, the law requires the department to advise and provide reasons in writing for all decisions to applicants. Constitution mandates that. Say the only time the public speaks up is if they are affected as in a change to their own assistance provisions. So what this writer is saying is that you only hear it when someone else is, when that person is affected by it. But as long as it isn't happening to them, then you don't hear anything about it, which is sad, and which will take us into our last commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Cayman Art Week is back and bigger than ever, with art on show at over 50 venues across all 3 islands from Tuesday the 26th to Sunday the 31st of May. From one-off pop-ups and creative collaborations to open studios and late-night gallery hours, all events are free and there's art on sale for every budget. Join a guided bus tour or visit at your own pace. You'll find everything you need to know at CaymanArtWeek.com.
For 50 years, Radio Cayman has been the heartbeat of our islands, bringing you the news, the music, and those moments that matter most and more.
From the vinyl days to the digital ways.
And now, it's time to celebrate you. This Thursday and Friday, we're giving away exciting prizes on air as we continue to mark 50 years strong. Tune in, listen out for your cue, and you could be walking away with something special just for being a part of our journey. Thank you, Cayman Islands, for 50 incredible years. Radio Cayman, yesterday, today, and the next 50.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the show this morning. Our guest, for those of you who are just joining us, our guest did leave us a little bit early as a result of having to attend the opening ceremonies for the parliamentary speakers conference. One of our one of our listeners had a comment in relation to the host of the show, but won't share that one with you. I want to thank this person who did send in some comments that they made. Caymanians, including those on the relevant boards, all MPs and cabinet members need to speak with a loud and united voice by their actions. Vote no because Larry has to go. Our islands do not need persons like Larry McGee and his wife being granted a work permit, permanent residency, or Caymanian status. Their actions, attitudes, and contempt for private property and their lust for violence is there for all to see. They went into the victim's vehicle. Okay, I guess until all of that has been litigated, I'm not sure whether or not it has all been litigated yet, but until all of that is litigated, I don't want to get too much into it. One of my observations and what I have been looking for in the legislation, but I'm coming up with not all of it, but in relation to the whole issue of permanent residence in the Cayman Islands, that has changed or will change somewhat, where residency may not be called permanent until a certain period of time. So 5 years, you would get residency that goes to 5 years, and then after the intervening 5 years, which would be a total of 10 years, then you get to apply for permanent residence. And after obtaining your permanent residence, then 12 months after that, you're eligible to apply for naturalization as a British Overseas Territories citizen. So other than permanent residence for wealthy persons of independent means, and even that in old legislation was for 25 years, anyone applying or qualifying now under the new legislation, they're not going to get permanent residence right away if they're continuing to work in the Cayman Islands. So you're going to get 5-year residency, another 5 years, and then you can apply. That is my take on it. I could be wrong. I'm still doing the research on it because there were some frequently asked questions that are on the government.ky website, and I'm trying to find as much as possible in relation to the issue of residency, and hopefully I will be able to share that information with you a little bit later on. Have a WhatsApp message, Miss Susan. Let's check and see what that one says. This one says, good morning. My sentiments may not be welcome, but I'll just share it. And since I haven't had an opportunity to preview this, I'll read it slowly, and then if I need to leave out anything, then I will. Following both sides of the aisle, proposed motions and past legislation in the Cayman Islands government is missing the mark. In these perilous worldwide economic times, all decisions should be driven by economists, not lawyers, not accountants or politicians, but by economists. The wealth divide in this country keeps growing and will continue to grow because we are still not imposing necessary taxations on the large firms that become billionaires whilst the others can barely access medical care. All I hear from the government and the opposition is spend more, spend more. The cost of living will never go back down, will never go down. We need to address the inequality, and only a team of economists can do this. Secondly, the National Development Plan needs to be updated and stop all of the Band-Aid policies. In 10 years, we will still be talking about the same issues. Thank you, the person wrote. Some very, very good points there. In relation to the comment about the fact that the decision should be driven by economists, not lawyers or accountants, well, the politicians have the wherewithal to access economists, to either have them on their team. They certainly have them within government as well. But remember now, politicians will always be politicians, and so we won't take the political objectives out of their decision making as well. So the economists may make recommendations on certain things. Whether or not the politicians decide to go follow those is another story. Now, we may have politicians who are economists, and whether or not their advice is listened to is another story. After Monday's show, I was talking to someone in relation to putting, if not policies, legislation in place to address the whole issue of concessions. And what was shared with me in that particular instance was that at one point in time, we did have a Minister of Finance who sought to address the issue, who had actually drafted, I'm not sure if it was legislations or policy directives or what, or policy guidelines in relation to concessions, and that minister was shot down in terms of what he was attempting to do. It was killed by other members of cabinet, or some other members of cabinet in that regard as well. So here you had Minister of Finance who knew about economics, who knew about governance issues, and tried to do something and was shot down. So unless we get economists who become politicians, but not only become elected politicians, but serve in government and have some political clout, at the end of the day, the politicians are always going to listen to themselves. They're going to determine that their decisions are the best decisions. And that is where many times we make the mistakes we see the mistakes that are being made in relation to governance. Certainly, one of the challenges that we're going to experience in the Cayman Islands is the high cost of living. If you watch, some of or read you in relation to cost of living and the gap between the rich and the poor, this reference to the K-shaped economy. I believe we have it right here in Cayman. We have the K-shaped economy, that those on the higher end, their fortunes keep going up, and those at the lower end, their fortunes keep going down as well. That's a part of a description of a K-shaped economy, and that is certainly taking place here in Cayman as well. Because when you have a situation where the cost of living is going up, cost of goods in the store are going up, those essential goods as well, person with a more disposable income, a higher income and more discretionary or disposable income will feel it, but they won't feel it as much as the person who doesn't have that luxury, as well. And we like the person has written, we really, really need to look at the haves and the have-nots in the Cayman Islands, because that gap is getting wider and wider, and it is no more clearly demonstrated than on the issue of housing in the Cayman Islands. We keep hearing people say, I don't see where, my child is going to be able to afford a house in the Cayman Islands. There will be homes, but will they be accessible to you don't want to use the word ordinary, but the regular Caymanian, will they be accessible to them as well? Folks, good thing I looked up at the clock. We've reached that time. 10 o'clock this morning. So I want to thank all of you who sent in messages. I want to thank our panelists, even though they had to leave early, and we understand that as well. We certainly look forward to those discussions every Wednesday. And we also look forward to the discussions that we have when our government representatives are in the studio with us as well. I'm trying to see if I can find the schedule for Friday to see. Miss Susan, can you access the calendar for Friday? Maybe I can say in advance who we're going to have in the studio this on Friday with us. I do believe that we have bookings for Friday. And meanwhile, folks, I urge you to continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Remember to join Mr. Charles Glidden Shallow at 12:15 for Talk Today. Join me at on Friday at 7:30 for the record, and we will be talking more about Preparedness Month, coming to the end of May as well, and of course hurricane season starting in June. So we will be talking more about Preparedness Month on Friday. Have a great day, and as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
If they are talking about us,
living in your head rent-free all this time,
we must be relevant.